I love climbing for the athletic aspects, the health aspects, but Kyle taught me so much more than that. How to be part of a bigger community, how to push yourself, how to be humble in the face of failure and improvement. I'm a little bit more of like a black and white type of guy, and I think I see that in my coaching and in my climbing. And so as a young adult, all the road trips we took and hours of conversation to and from the crag, I think we talked a lot about that, and I think that helped me grow as a young adult. Being more comfortable with myself and my feelings, and I think seeing that from another high-level athlete and someone I look up to really allowed myself to open up. My name is Palmer, and I'm a competitive climbing coach for kids 8 to 18. And I teach them how to climb, I teach them how to compete, I teach them how to understand themselves and push themselves. During my time with the team, of course, our coaches taught us the basics, how to place our feet well, how to move statically and dynamically. I learned discipline of showing up to the gym 4 times a week, how to work on things that are hard for you, how to have patience. But climbing has so much more to teach you. Those are the small things that you learn that shape you into the climber you are. And so I'm forever grateful for those lessons they taught me. My last year on the climbing team, Kyle became the new head coach. There was a bit of a transition in our coaching staff. And I got to know Kyle a little bit as a coach, but my final year on team, I went to France for my last season instead of competing. And so I would say Kyle didn't coach me as much as an athlete. Once I got back, I started coaching for the team. And so that's when Kyle and I really got to know each other, is we coached together for about 7 years.
My name is Kyle O'Mara. I was the coach of the Momentum climbing team from 2013 to 2020. And I first met Palmer when he was an athlete on the team. He was about 18 years old and he was about to age out as a youth competitor. And then for the next 7 years, I got to coach right alongside him. He and I worked really well as a team together because he had a way deeper understanding of the competition world as a youth athlete himself. And I came in as kind of more of a I'd really like to be a teacher, a mentor. Climbing means a lot to me. It's changed my life. If I can pass a little bit of that on to the athletes I get to work with, then that's awesome. And I think we made a really good team because he cared about their performance on the field, as it were, and I cared about their development as humans.
I'm in a unique position in that I'm both a World Cup athlete and a head coach for a competition team. I think those actually blend together incredibly well. The finite details of your mindset when you're competing and the strategies to employ and the feelings you feel are very real to me. I experience those quite often. And so to share that with the athletes I coach is super special and lets us have some really deep conversations, and they trust me in my advice that I have to give. And they teach me a lot as well. They help me to become a better athlete and coach.
I think it's extremely unique to be as talented a competitor as Palmer is and be a coach. It's pretty unique that he's still competing at a national, international level and also so invested in his coaching.
My name is Anders Gaydosh. I'm 13 years old. I've been climbing for 9 years and I've been on Team Momentum for 5 years. A lot of the comp climbing is your mental game. I think you have to have a lot of experience to really help people with their mental game, and Palmer is really good at that. And so it's probably one of the hardest things to control because you can't just go work out your mind in the weight room.
I think being a good coach doesn't require you to be a good climber, but some of the experiences you have as an athlete, you can only understand when you're on the mats fighting and trying to make good decisions and pushing yourself. And so those experiences I've had definitely have made me a better coach and more thoughtful in how I discuss those experiences. As a coach, I think I tried to inspire. I tried to get the most out of each athlete. I think I can be harsh, but I know what the athlete is capable of. So I try to pull that out of them, the best out of each athlete.
Again, there's so much psychology to deal with in the process of becoming your best. And as a coach, you really have to understand that and help people through that. It takes a lot of energy to be that dedicated to your own training, your own progression, your own competitions, and to give so much energy and time to your own team, your own athletes that you do work with.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, every year he gets better, right? He's very intentional with his things he wants to improve on as a competitor himself, and you know, he has high expectations for himself and he falls short of that sometimes because that's the game of competition, but he shows up again and does it, and he does it better. And I think he understands that it's just a matter of time before it all lines up, and then that's that magic moment when it does.
Yeah, climbing's so much more than just winning. You know, as a competitive head coach, getting the best out of an athlete or winning is part of my job. And that's incredibly exciting for an athlete to achieve that. Yeah, I think I'm in a unique position in being mentored by the likes of someone like Kyle, giving me a holistic perspective, but also being a high-level athlete myself. Try to bring all those aspects into my coaching, and we all can learn from those different desires. I think Kyle had more of a community and personal growth enjoyment in his climbing, and my initial experience was more athletic and competitive. So we actually learned a lot from each other. He learned how to maybe perform better when he wasn't feeling it, when the psych wasn't high, because that's how I learned to climb. Like, you got to show up now and you got to climb your route now. I think I've really learned how to develop that trust with an athlete, and solving a lot of your interpersonal issues and things going on in your life. Understanding them and talking through them can lead to greater performance. So I think I put a lot of energy into that, into getting to know the kids and what they're going through and what struggles they face, because often hearing those and working through them opens up a new door for performance, and talking with them through that can help them achieve a higher potential. I've obviously tried to maintain my passion and joy in teaching the nuts and bolts and how to compete well and what that takes. But teaching a holistic experience for all my athletes is my primary goal, because not everyone's going to compete at the highest level, but I want everyone to climb for their entire life. And so I think that looks like exposing them to those things, getting outside, having those hard conversations to build trust and friendship and learn what's going on in their lives. Climbing is a lifelong journey, and there's no timeline for what that can be. I've never been the best climber, and so it's always been a part of my life, but not who I am. And so that's allowed me to develop other ways and other aspects and get interested in different things while my climbing is still humming along. And yeah, I think that's let me separate myself from it, my identity from it, as well as maybe gain a healthier relationship with my performance and what I enjoy about climbing. So I think I can show that longer term growth is possible, and you don't have to be the best when you're 16.
Put in the hours, show up to practice, learn the techniques, understand the game. Those things are easier to gauge, right? It's easier to hang on an edge for 10 seconds and see how much weight you can do and measure that against time than it is to understand how to manage your expectations, manage your failures, manage your successes, and do that in a way that's gonna help you always move forward, even on the days where you maybe didn't hit your mark. You know, he was one of the first people that really kind of valued the mentorship that I offered, and I think just, you know, wanted to take that and make it his own, and then like pass that on to his team and the people that he gets to work with.
Everyone's experience is going to be different. Some climbers are looking to push the upper levels of what's possible. Some climbers are there to enjoy the community and the outdoors. Some people are there to be healthy and get out of their comfort zone. And so all of those aspects bring something different for each experience, each individual in climbing. And I think that is the holistic experience. Any climber can have a win, whether that's progress on a project they've been working on, or de-stressing from a long week and getting outside, or catching up with good friends. Like, those are all wins, and that is what makes an enjoyable life. So I love climbing, and it's a lifelong sport and will forever teach us many things.
Come on!